Hello, everybody. It's Charles Kemp and Jerome Chestnut with me here, like we have been for the last couple of years, almost a couple of years, with our weekly videos about informative, interesting things around going on around Fairmont.
Yes, sir.
Today we're going to be talking about one of our agencies or groups that we have here in town, the Planning Board. I'm not going to do as much talking today, and I know I can hear the applause and the thank God from the other side of the camera, but it's just because I'm not, it's not my thing. It's not my bailiwick. I'm not involved in that. I've never been to a planning board meeting in all the 46 years I've been in government. And that's because, and I've argued with people about this, and I know I'm right, Dr. Albert Coates, who is the guru, he's passed away now, he's no longer living, but he's the man who wrote the book on proper procedure in
Yes,
government.
sir. Yes, sir.
And he's the one that got the North Carolina legislature to pass a advisory, I don't know whether it was a law or not, but asking local elected officials not to attend planning board meetings because it might endanger their vote later in a regular meeting that the item was brought before them. So I've never been to a planning board meeting, and we've had an incident over the last couple of years that required me to defend that position. It's not my place. I'm not on the planning board. They come, their items come to us. We do have a planning board. They
Yes,
meet
sir.
monthly. Mr. Chestnut's kind of in charge of that. So I'm gonna let Mr. Chestnut tell you a little bit about our planning board and some of the wonderful things that they have done and are doing under the revamped system that Mr. Chestnut has required and gotten to have.
Most definitely, Mr. Mayor. I've always loved this opportunity to talk about our appointed boards and the volunteers that serve on them and the work that they do. Excuse me. I wanted to also take this opportunity to talk about how I got my start in local government, and it was through volunteering. Um, so when I moved back to North Carolina in 2017, um, I worked for a company down in Wilmington as a project manager and was going back and forth visiting my home down in Chadbrook. And I was invited to a couple of community groups, a couple of planning board meetings, a couple of downtown revitalization meetings, and I was attending them quite regular, offering my input, and everybody really enjoyed it. And someone at one point said, "Hey, instead of going this route, why don't you just stop what you're doing and get involved in local government?" And eventually, I would apply to be the assistant town manager, and that's how I got my start in local government.
And
You know,
this led him to the glorious occasion that he had to get a chance to work with me.
most definitely.
And this is why he has no hair.
That's right.
Because I worried him to death.
Yes, fast forwarded to 2022 when I came over to Fairmont. Fairmont was on the tail end of updating all of their ordinances based on the new land use law update in the state of North Carolina. So I was heavily involved at the tail end of the adoption of the current ordinances we have. Um, when it comes to the planning board perhaps has more power than the board of commissioners when it comes to the origination of the discussion of items in your community.
Right.
Your planning board, and here in Fairmont, we have 9 members on our planning board. 6 of them are from in town, 3 of them are from our ETJ area. Since
You might
then,
want to tell people what an ETJ means.
most definitely, the ETJ is the 1 mile radius outside of the town of Fairmont that we hold planning and development responsibilities for outside of our town. So our planning board is very crucial to how things get addressed in the town of Fairmont. Mr. Mayor, you and I hosted a town talk last month
Right.
where I told everyone when it comes to planning and zoning decisions, I have to ride around the town with blinders on. Because if I were to just go down every street and come up with ideas on what to fix or nice to have things, I wouldn't ever be back in my office. You know,
Nor would we have any money left for doing those things.
that's right. So I depend on our planning board and their non-members to be out in the community, to be our eyes, um, and to bring things to the table, whether it's the updating of our ordinances, whether it's, hey, Jerome, this street is really bad, this sidewalk is really bad, this code enforcement issue is really bad. Our planning board help us prioritize projects for funding and to review issues before they go to the board of commissioners.
I will say this. I do know this for a fact, having not ever been to a planning board meeting, but the information I have here, I'm about to state, is true. In the past, the planning board's meetings were very, very ill prepared,
Yes, sir.
and they're not anymore, because citizens expect, if it's going to be an item of very great importance in their neighborhood or their block or their section of town, they expect government to work efficiently, and if it doesn't, then they blame the government. And when you tell them, well, it wasn't our fault, all we did was appoint these 9 people, then it makes the government look bad.
Most definitely.
Mr. Chestnut has revised and re-upped the planning board and put some people on there who are more interested in the proper procedures and the work that they're doing, and it's a much better situation, I think.
Most
That's what
definitely,
I've heard.
most definitely, Mr. Mayor. What I've tried to do is just get them engaged in the community and get them to do what I can't do, which is drive the streets of our town and look left and right, and be able to do it on their time, you know, and not have any rush decisions. Our planning board, like I stated earlier, is much more involved, much more active. We meet more often, and we have done training on some of the meetings where we haven't had actual agenda items. We'll pull out the zoning map and just discuss it. We'll talk about what the future of Fairmont looks like. So, you know, my main message for everyone here today is our planning board meets once a month, the first Thursday, if there's not a holiday, of the month here at Town Hall. The planning board also has a 5-minute public comment period where you could just show up and you could talk about something. You can get your ideas of what's going on in the town of Fairmont, not only in front of the board of commissioners during their 5 minutes, you also get 5 minutes with the planning board. So every citizen out there, if they wanted to, you know, we only have 30-minute, you know, public comment periods, but they literally could go speak their piece to the planning board. 2 weeks later, come and speak their piece to the board of commissioners to get their ideas, to get their support on what's important in their neighborhood.
And what happens is, on the planning board decision, it reverts to the town board.
Yes, sir.
And if the town board makes a decision, and I've served on this situation 3 times in my 46 years. There is such a thing, it's the Board of Adjustment.
Yes, sir.
Which is a appeal board, or appeal, which is made up of every town commissioner except one.
Most definitely.
So 5 commissioners and not 6. I've only done that 3 times.
Yes, sir.
We've never done that but 3 times, and that's how rare it is. So those are the processes. First, the planning board. You want to rezone some piece of property, you got to go before them. You want to put a mobile home, you got to go before them.
That's
you
right.
want to do something with your business, you got to go before them. Then they kick it upstairs to the town board, and then to the Board of Adjustment. Then I guess after that, it's a man with a black robe on.
Yes, sir.
Or
Most
one.
definitely. Most
But
definitely.
anyway, Mr. Chestnut's firmly in control and in charge of the planning board. We've got a much better situation than we used to have. And so if you've got anything that needs planning board interest or involvement, call Mr. Chestnut and he'll put you down for a meeting with him. We hope these videos are informative to you and interesting. And when Mr. Chestnut starts doing them alone, that will signal the fact that I have been called up by Hollywood and that I can't do this anymore.
That's right.
That I've got to go out and film a movie. But until then, and it's probably going to be a while, you'll be seeing me and Mr. Chestnut.
That's right. Thank you much, and we'll see you at the next planning board meeting.